But using the code injection techniques, actually you can actually the attacker can make this software malicious. They can execute their own malicious code inside the service.exe, even when the other artifacts says that okay, it is like not malicious. So we need to know all those things in detail, like okay, what this code injection means and how we can detect those things in on the memory analysis. Okay, so similar. So I hope you got an idea, like from the operating system artifact. Let's say we see any kind of services that is running on the host, which is then not normal, which has not been seen executing previously. So we can quickly figure out, okay, that service might be malicious or not. Okay. So I hope you got an idea like what all things will come up later in the lab environment. So now what I will do is that the next part. So I hope you got an idea about the artifacts. You got an idea about the process. Do you guys have any questions before I proceed with the next topic? Okay, so let's go to the next topic. And the other thing that what we will also looking moving forward is how to conduct the memory forensics, which is the the core technology that most of the security professionals doesn't have right now, is to analyze the memory part and how to figure out the malwares from there. Okay, the sophisticated malware that is existing right now in the world. So for that, what we will do is that we will grab the RAM memory image of a suspected system. Okay, I will try to explain you how to grab the memory, what are the different tools. Let's say one of the tool is Belkasoft RAM capture tool. Okay, one of the tool is, let's say, Belkasoft RAM capture. And the problem is that with this tool is that it's actually a GUI. It's actually a GUI tool. Okay, it's something looks like this. You need to execute that on the host, and let's say you need to capture the memory and all the things. Now, let's say it's actually very good tool that it actually captures the memory. But now, let's say you want to automate this part. You don't want that, okay, your code, you need to let's say you want that, okay, how I can automate this tool execution, even though it is a GUI based tool. Okay, so what we will do is that going forward, I will showcase that thing to you using Python scripting, how you can approach, even if you are encountering, even if you are encountering a tool which is a GUI based mode, and you want to automate certain analysis, how you can automate the GUI capturing. Like, let's say some a script which actually captures, which actually click the button capture over here, and once the capture is done, it actually closes that file by clicking on that button automatically, not by just any manual approach. So thing is that earlier we and my team actually developed a software where what it does is, like, whenever we had to do some capture tool, what we used to do is that there's a different software, not this one, not Belkasoft, but that software also having GUI. Okay, and what we did is that we wrote a Python code which automatically start this exe file in the GUI format and click on the buttons automatically and captures the RAM image and send it out to our lab environment quite easily. Okay, so these all things also will looking at not just memory analysis, but how to uh, gather the memory both from a manual as well as an automated way. Okay, so the intention is that when you guys handle any incident, you don't have any kind of a roadblock. You can automate all your analysis at a certain point in time without facing any kind of difficulty. Okay, so we'll look at that, and then what we'll do is that we will be using the volatility framework, which is again an open source framework, and we'll try to see like how we can let's say identify a log process, or how we can analyze the DLL handles that is linked to any process, or what kind of network artifacts are there, like what IP address that process is running. So we can figure that out using the memory analysis itself, even like code injection. So let's say for the malware, let's say a malware code injected a malicious code in in that sms.exe that we were looking at. So how we can figure that out, that software and code injected. So we can do that again with the volatility framework. I will looking at those things too. Similarly for sign up rootkit and fewer details we'll look at. and then we'll perform some in-depth memory analysis. Okay, so so thing is that the reason why we do memory analysis is that malware can hide. Malware can hide no matter what. It can kind of deploy a lot of anti-forensic technique, but malware needs to run. No matter what, it needs to run. And when it runs, it will definitely create some kind of artifact in the RAM memory, and there's no other way to skip that part by the malware. Okay. So I hope you got an idea what all things to kind of expect, and also a few details like an idea, okay, how this will be useful going forward. So in the next class, what we'll do is that we will kind of try to kind of approach that from a lab environment. I'll be sharing a link from where you can download the memory images and all, and we'll kind of start working on that part together. Okay. So I hope uh, uh, this was something interesting. And the other thing, guys, since there were multiple questions regarding the malware analysis, how to do the malware analysis in the lab environment, uh, do you guys, I just wanted to ask, do you guys want a session on that too, where I showcase a basic functionality, how to, let's say, analyze a malware, let's say using IDA Pro, or let's say using a different tool. So
Yes, yes. Definitely, so that will be like a good addition if you have the time to show us that how to analyze the
okay,
malware and stuff.
okay. So what I will do is that in the next week going forward, maybe I will then plan a session, a 2-hour session, where I will execute a malware, and we'll try to see how we can, let's say, not a sophisticated malware, but a basic malware which we'll kind of encountering in daily life, and we'll try to see how we can look at the network artifacts that is generated, and a lot of other things like how we can do certain kind of assembly language analysis and figure out what that malware is doing internally and how it is trying to hide its own thing. Okay, so definitely I'll plan that out. So that will kind of give you a basic idea how to kind of perform the malware analysis. Like whenever you get a malware, you are dealing with any incident, you get a malware, what are different things that you can do for that malware, how you can kind of, let's say, run the malware in virtual box and kind of figure out, okay, what that malware is doing, and let's say how you can analyze that malware from an assembly language point of view and understand what that thing is doing. Okay, so we'll try to address that out. And for today, guys, I think we are done. So next class we will start with the labs of the disk forensics. So going forward, what all things are in the kit for our syllabus is definitely the disk forensics. And as I told, as I have told before, that I'll be kind of investing some more time in the disk analysis, because this is something which disk and the network is something which you will be dealing 90% of time in the cases. And apart from that, maybe the malware analysis, that is something new. Will I will kind of do a new edition on that syllabus. And the next thing that we'll look at is the Splunk log analysis that you guys requested for. So I'm preparing a lab for that, where I'll be kind of discussing you how to kind of utilize the Splunk for doing some kind of analysis, and how you can kind of install the Splunk on any kind of instances, both at the host level, at the also at the container level. So that we'll look at. And maybe we'll also look at how to kind of interact with the Splunk using Python code. So that we'll look at. And once that all things are done, then we'll quickly cover out three things. One is definitely look at a high level the Alien Vault SIEM tool. And then what the plan is that we'll look at from the vulnerability and pen testing point of view. We'll look at like how Metasploit tools works, and what is the core technology by which Metasploit work. And at the last, what we will do is that we will try to kind of let understand. So thing is that we'll understand how Metasploit works in the background, and can you do the same kind of exploitation even without using Metasploit, just by using your own code. So thing is that there will be different scenarios that you will be encountering. Let's say right now you are as a SOC professional, and thing is that let's say going forward you want to jump into vulnerability assessment or pen testing, or let's say there is an attacker, and the attacker is exploiting a zero day vulnerability, or let's say vulnerability on the host without using Metasploit, because Metasploit is a well-known tool and there are a lot of signatures. So normally what the attacker does is like they don't use Metasploit tool. And